Restock Master of Wine, and I am here in the vineyard in January, well, end of January, early February. This is an important time in the vineyard and planning for the next year's or this year's coming crop, our yield estimates, and setting ourselves up for vine health and fruit quality in the vineyard right now at the start of the year is really an important time. So the vines are dormant currently. At the end of harvest, what happens is we harvest the fruit, the vine signals to the roots that everything is being shut down, and this is the time for the vine to restore its carbohydrates over the winter months and to really give itself a rest over the winter months and set itself up for the coming year and coming spring to put all of its energy back into creating fruit for the coming year. So right now the vines are dormant, and they'll continue to be dormant while the weather stays around 50 degrees or lower. Right now we're having days of about 40 degrees. That's just under 10 degrees, 7 degrees Celsius. In the Willamette Valley, this is an important time of year for us because, as you can see, there's no irrigation here. And this vineyard is dry farmed, which means that we rely on collecting all of the groundwater moisture for these own-rooted vines to really establish themselves for the coming year with all the rainfall that's happening right now. About 50 or so inches of rainfall annually, and that really sets us up perfectly for a dry growing season. You see dry grown on a label of wine, that means that the vines have been made without irrigation. When you see old vines on the wine label as well, what you see is old vineyards, so vineyards that are 35 years or older, and own-rooted means that they are on their Vitis vinifera roots. They're not grafted to American rootstock, which is the case as many vineyards are now planted on American rootstock to protect them from the phylloxera louse and also to dial in some premium farming conditions that we can do with rootstocks that suit the soil type and the climate and the weather at hand. So they're all considerations for when you're planting a vineyard or working with old vines. But what I'm here to do today is to walk through the vineyard with my vineyard crew, my vineyard manager, and to really discuss what the fruit quality was like last year, what we're seeing in the vineyard for this year that might help to get us better quality fruit, establish healthy yields for these old vines. So looking at this vine in particular, we can see here that there's some what we call short shoots that only go to this is the pruning wire, this is first, second, third catch wires. Generally speaking, we don't want to see fruit hanging on wires that are less than the second wire. These would have had the fruit dropped on them because they likely wouldn't have been able to support the ripening and health of the fruit. What I'm also seeing in this vine, which I will discuss with my vineyard crew when they come through to prune, is that we're seeing pretty large spacing between our buds. And so what we might do here is instruct the crews when they lay down the new cane to have a shorter cane so that we can start filling these middle wires of the cane instead of the vine pushing everything out to the ends, where its natural nature is for apical dominance to push all of the fruit and nutrients to the end of the end of the cane and push it up through the stem. What we're going to do is probably cut this back. The new cane that we're laying down, we'll have a shorter cane so that we can fill a shorter amount and we're not putting as much stress on the vine. The vines get quite stressed in years where we have a lot of drought or other instances, like in 2022 we had a severe frost and that damaged the buds and impacted the level of fruiting for the following year. So anything that stresses the vine is going to impact the quality and amount of the yield that comes out of the vineyard. So we need to keep that in mind when we're going through reviewing our vineyard blocks and where we want the fruit quality to be.